So in this video I am going to tell what I do as an apps DBA. So this is my home setup where I normally work for my office, as well as what I do blogging and my YouTube. So I work on this desk. So this is my office system, and the two are my personal systems where I normally work and do my day-to-day blogging and create videos, or if I give training, so I will be using these systems. So this is my normal simple setup. There is no fancy setup here. So all the systems are normal and they are basic. So for this system I have already put a video what is the configuration. I still have to upgrade this system, so I will be doing that in future videos. So many people have doubt like what they do as an apps DBA or what should be the future as an apps DBA. So in this video I will try to explain what all things you should actually go ahead and learn as an apps DBA, or what you should know, or what are the next things that you should focus on. Being an apps DBA, you should also start learning other technologies which should be useful for you in future. Okay, so don't just stick to apps DBA, and whatever I will be telling, that would be totally my opinion, and it may be subjective. You might agree with it, you might not agree with it. That's fine, that's totally fine. So I will explain you step by step what actually as an apps DBA, what are the tasks that I will perform, what are the things that you should know, what things you should focus on, how the work comes, and how are the various other things that you work on. Okay, so let's start. So I have made a PPT of it, so I will explain step by step on that. So I am sharing what I do as an Oracle Apps DBA and what are the major things that you should be doing, or most of the environments wherever you work, you will be seeing these type of tasks to be performed. So you should be having knowledge on those specific technologies. So this is my experience. So what is an Oracle Apps DBA? So when we say an Oracle Apps DBA, so you are actually managing the Oracle product, that is an Oracle ERP product, which is called as eBusiness Suite. Okay, so the eBusiness Suite are mostly managed by DBA. So you are going to make sure that the application is up and running all the time. It should be available as per the defined SLA. So SLA is your service level agreement, if you don't know, and you should be making sure that all the key components of the applications are working, and apart from that you have to do a regular health checks and other stuff on your application. So as an apps DBA you will be doing a lot many things. In earlier days, like if I talk about 10 years 12 years back when I started, that time you might see that as an apps DBA you are just managing the application part and the database part was managed by the DBA or the core DBA. But over the time things have changed. Now as an apps DBA, it's not only that you have to manage the Oracle application, whether that is their web server related to application, concurrent managers, or any type of SSO related stuff, but you also have to manage the database part of it. So as an apps DBA, when we say, you should be a core DBA as well, because the applications or the Oracle applications specifically works with the Oracle database only. So you should be able to handle anything related to the database. Okay, so what major roles and responsibilities that as an apps DBA I perform or I have done in past? So you should be knowing these technology. It's not only that you should know a single product, Oracle eBusiness Suite, I know Oracle core database, that's it. Because with the time, in the demand in the market or in the job market, you will see most of the job that you will see, they will need lot of skills together when you are going for an apps DBA interview. So you should be learning various skills. Okay, and don't get overwhelmed by these many technologies and everything, you will learn eventually. You have to learn eventually. If you are starting your career, you have to learn eventually. You don't have to directly jump with everything and not able to understand any one of those. So go step by step. If you are comfortable with Oracle e-business suite, okay, so you have to go ahead and to the next level, that okay, now I have to understand the database part, now I have to understand how the high availability things will work. So then you have to go one step ahead to the next level or to the next advanced level. So as an apps DBA, what I have worked on most of the systems are your managing your ERP system. So I have worked on managing ERP system starting from 11i, R12.0, R12.1, R12.2. So you have to have the knowledge. Of course, now the clients, companies are moving to the latest version R12.2, but still there are organizations that are still on the lower version. So you should have an idea of those lower versions as well. It's not that directly you might directly get to 12.2. But if you are comfortable in any of those versions, you can easily handle the other components and you can easily relate that how the previous version was working and how the new version works. Then managing your ERP database and your core database. So every Oracle e-business systems are associated with a database, that is the ERP database. So whatever data is stored in your ERP, that gets stored in the database itself. Okay, the ERP is just the file system structure, everything, the products are there, a lot of different things are integrated together with the web server, the application server, form server, concurrent services are there, a lot of different services are there. But at the end of the day, the data is getting stored in your Oracle database only. So every ERP system, as I told, will be associated with a database, and you should be able to manage those databases as well. And most of the things of the database that you manage on an ERP is the same like you manage your core databases. You have to handle your users, you have to handle your table space management, you have to do your performance tuning tasks. So everything you have to manage the same way. Only difference would be there would be added users, added specific seeded schemas. Seeded schemas means that comes along with Oracle whenever you install that product. So that schemas that gets installed at the time of the product installation, they are termed as seeded schemas. So those type of tasks will still be there. So same task that you perform as in core DBA. And of course, from apart from your ERP database, you should also be aware of your core databases, because there would be many applications that are running on core database, but that application might be built on some other product. That application might be some .NET application, some Java application, any third-party applications, but the database behind them might be Oracle database only. So you have to manage those databases as well. So most of the places where you might work or wherever I work, so you will see as an apps DBA, you might be managing a lot of Oracle products. So the management or that shell would be around the Oracle product itself, that you are managing those type of Oracle products. Non-Oracle products you will see, but very little that you might have to manage depending upon the organization structure and everything, but it's quite less when compared to Oracle products. Then when we talk about the high availability, so when you go to high availability systems, you might see the database ERP, whether it's an ERP database or it's a normal core database, they would be having rack or the cluster that we say, or the ASM setup. So those type of high availability products you should also be aware of, because as you grow over the time, or as you work for bigger clients, bigger companies or bigger organizations, you will see that they will be having high availability systems, because these high availability systems helps their application, their servers, their specific databases to run 24/7. Okay, and this helps them to make sure that these high availability products will cater them those kind of requirements. So of course, whenever you are an DBA, so you have to make sure the systems mostly has to be available 24/7, 365 days. Okay, so you have to manage that way. So that's why the DBA job, or as an apps DBA, you have to be ready with your 24/7 support. So you might get morning shifts, you have to do afternoon shifts, you have to do night shifts. So you have to work on rotational shift basis as well. and that will change on organization to organization as well, how they manage their shifts and how the customer works, or the what is the customer SLA is there. So SLA is basically your service level agreements. Okay, so SLA is a term for the service level agreement that is done between the client for which you are managing that system. So if the client says, okay, I want it for 24/7, so you have to make sure the system is up and running 24 hours a day, 7 days in a week. But if it's 24/5, so client says, okay, it's fine that 2 days on weekends or whenever they have the business off, so that might be fine. You can take the system down, you can do anything. So that might be a 24/7 environment. So it totally changes. Then you will also see products like OBI, SOA, Informatica, DAC. So these type of products also have to be there, and you have to go ahead and manage these products as well. Okay, so you might have to not do the development on that, but you have to at least make sure that how these services start, stop, what are the important files, how we have to configure it, if we want to make any changes, how we are going to do that. So that all will come under OBI, e-products, SOA products, Informatica products, lot of different products that are there which you have to manage. Then as an apps DBA, you might also be needed to manage the WebLogic servers. So the WebLogic servers are again an Oracle product. So they are used for various type of Java application deployments and everything. As an WebLogic server, you have to manage those WebLogic servers as well. Then you have to handle the OEMs or the Oracle Enterprise Managers, that may be 12c, 13c. So which is an monitoring tool again that is used to monitor your databases, applications, and lot of different components. So that all will be your managing your systems using OEM. So OEM is also available in lot many places. So you should be ready, or you should be having that knowledge to how to use OEM to monitor your databases, how to manage them. So that would also be important. So like lot many places you will see there is a hierarchy, there is L1, L2, L3. So might be the task might be divided between the teams, but many places you will be doing the task, every task by your own. So you should be having that idea. And I would suggest that you should have done everything by your own once, twice, thrice, so that you know what the thing is going on. Okay. Then if you go more advanced, so you will get EBS SSO, that is the single sign-on, that you have to manage the SSO systems, you have to set up SSO, how the SSO works, how the SSO is integrated to the LDAP systems. So all those will come under your EBS SSO management as well. And then of course you have to handle other products. So other products might be your NoSQL DBs or other SQL databases like MySQL, or NoSQL DBs like your MongoDB. Then you might also work on Postgres DBs and lot of different DBs. So these are the various roles and responsibilities that you might come across your job profiles. So you should be having knowledge on quite a number of things if you are going, or if you have attained at least experience of 8 to 9 years. So you should be having the knowledge on all those things. So whatever components I have mentioned, I have worked on all those, or I am managing all these things. So based on my experience, I have mentioned that. There might be more things that you might be managing in your specific domain, your specific roles, but it will keep adding on. But as an apps DBA, these are the major things that you will see across the organizations. Okay. So as an apps DBA, you just not are managing it, but you also have to interact with various teams. So various teams you have to interact, various teams you have to understand their requirement. If there is an issue, you have to work across various teams to make that work. Okay. So as an apps DBA, whenever you are managing your servers, so most of the times the servers are Linux based servers. Okay, so most of the ERP systems or database systems, and even I will prefer a Linux based systems over a Windows based systems. So you have to connect to various teams for various specific purpose. Like you have to connect with your storage team. If I talk about the first thing, storage team, from where all the disk storage and everything are attached to your servers, how they are handling it, how you have to use those storage. So all those things you have to work with the storage team. Then you have to work with server teams also. Server teams, as I said, the application and database are installed on your Linux based systems or a Windows based system. So you have to work with those teams to make sure that the server, there is no server issue, or if a server is crashing. So you have to make sure that what's the issue, why the server is crashing, and they have to work on it. So you have to work multiply or parallelly with multiple teams. Then you might also work with the Windows Exchange teams, maybe for your Windows Server issues or maybe Exchange issues, because mostly we use Exchange servers or Office 365 for our EBS workflow. So you might be needing to connect with those teams as well. Then you might go ahead and connect with your network team again. So network team, in case of any network issue, in case of any new server, IP allocation and everything. So network team will handle all those type of stuffs. So you have to work with the network team as well in case of any networking specific issues. Then you have to work with the stakeholders and the end users. So now what are these stakeholders or the end users? End users are actually the customers or actually the users who are using that ERP application. So you have to work with them. And again, when you are working with such kind of users or the stakeholders, you have to be very careful. They might be some VP level person, or they might be a normal office finance team person. Okay, so anyone who is doing that task, you have to work with that user. So you have to understand that end user is not a technical guy. He's working on it for his roles and responsibilities. So his roles and responsibilities is different. So he might not understand the technicality of the product as you are understanding. So you have to work with them carefully. You have to make sure that whatever you are trying to explain them is quite easy, and you should go ahead and help them in case they are not able to understand. Okay, so there might be users who might not understand your technical terms or the technical jargons that you might be using with them. Then you also work with the development teams. The development teams are mostly the technical teams, functional teams who are building that business logic in ERP, who are actually going ahead and building that business logics, how the business has to be done, or how the invoicing has to be done, how the revenue is to be done on the ERP system. So they might be working, they might need to make a lot of changes, they might need some specific support from the DBA. So you have to go ahead and work with those type of development and the technical teams as well. Then apart from that, you have to work with Oracle support in case of any issues. If you want to do some issues are there, you want to raise some kind of severity cases, you want to have some patches, you want to do some kind of upgradation, and you want to need some advice, you might need to go ahead and connect with the Oracle support. You raise ticket with them and work along with them. In case you have any other vendors, like any other support vendors, any other products you are using, so you have to work with them as well. Okay, so these are the major chunks of the teams that as an apps DB you are working, and you are sitting in the center of that. Okay, so you have to work along with all these teams. I hope I'm making sense. So normally as an apps DB, how the work comes. So work might be coming via mails. So mails might be that you might get some mails, you have to work on it based on that. But as a standard procedure, mostly the work comes via tickets. So tickets are mostly the incident management, and there are various tools like Snow is your ServiceNow, BMC Remedy. Then you have CA help desk. Lot of different type of tools are there from where the tickets would be raised. There would be different type of changes would be raised, request would be raised, and based on that you have to work on that. So these ticketing tools works on the incident management, or if you have heard of a term ITIL. Okay, so based on that it will be going ahead and you have to work on these type of tasks. So in the incident management you might get incidents, you might get problems, you might get requests, you might get change. Okay, so the incidents are like one-off issues. If you are getting some kind of issues, let's say the user is unable to log in, there is some issue with the user, so they might go ahead and raise an incident. But let's say if that incident is recurring continuously, like every week you are getting a ticket related to the same issue, that becomes a problem, and then you have to find a problem solution, that why it is causing every week, or that problem is why it is going ahead and bouncing back every time. So you have to find a permanent fix for that. Okay, so that will become a problem. Then you will get requests. So requests are mostly the request for your user creation, or the request for your specific access. So those are the requests type of tickets that might comes. And the last one would be your change. So changes are mostly any type of changes that you are going to make in the live system, any type of changes that you want to make in the system, that will go via change. So change is always approved by a team called as CAB. CAB is the change advisory board, which consists of your top management, managers, team leads, who actually understand that if this change goes, what all things will get impacted, and they have to make sure that if the change is going, they all the specific conditions, all the specific things are being taken care, and it is not going to break any of the systems. Okay, so that is going via change. So mostly you as an apps DBA, I work, or normally you will get work based on these specific scenarios only. Okay, of course you can work for normal day-to-day support via chat or any type of communicator, Teams or anything, but these are the major things that normally how you do regular tasks. Okay, so if I talk about these are the different things, so what are the tasks that I normally do? You might do, you have to manage things, you have to do health checks. If you are an apps DBA code DBA, you might be doing patching, you might be doing cloning. Okay, so these are your day-to-day tasks. Then you might be doing supports, you might have to migrate codes, you might have to check codes for any type of issues, or if they are not as per the standards of the organizations. So you might have to do lot of various tasks based on the roles. Okay, but the major thing is you have to make sure that system is up and running, the ERP system, the database system is up and running, no issues are there. You have to do a regular health checks, you have to set up alerts in OEM so that you get regular updates. Let's say if the table space is going to fail, if there are any errors in the alert logs of the database. So all those things you have to manage it regularly. Now this is very important question, that what is the future of as an Oracle Apps DBA, and what should I learn? Should I learn Apps DBA, or what should be the next thing should I go for? So I recommend, if you are an Apps DBA, of course still there are 10 to 11 years as per Oracle, the product is there, you have to support it, but I will not say just don't stick to that same thing. You should start learning the different technologies as well. Okay, might not be that you have to use it everything, but you should start learning at least something other than that what you are doing regularly. Okay, you should go ahead and learn something different. Okay, so normally these are the things that I learn, or I am learning, or I am going ahead and understanding them, working on them. So these are the things that based on my experience that I have written. There may be different things, so I have mentioned based on the technical perspective. Of course you have a different scope. If you want to go to project management, you can go ahead with the project management track. You might go to for PMP, Prince, and lot of different tracks are there for project management. But on that technical front, if you say, if you are interested, you might go ahead and learn for cloud. The first thing is cloud. Cloud is very common and very popular now, so you should at least learn cloud. Okay, at least one cloud. If you understand, you will be able to work on any other cloud. Okay, because that terminology might change, but the concept of cloud remains same. Okay, so at least one cloud if you are interested in Oracle Cloud, AWS Cloud, GCP. And if, let's say, I will suggest, if you already your organization is having some cloud and working on it, try to focus on that cloud first, because there you will get a real-time experience of that. Okay, so first understand that cloud, how it works, learn that, and once you are comfortable in that cloud, you can of course go ahead and learn other clouds, and that will feel quite easy when you are learning other clouds after learning already one of the clouds. Okay, so you can go ahead and learn any of these cloud vendors. Okay, then next thing you can learn, if you see the trend, you have lot of things getting automated. Okay, so automation, again, like we say, okay, automation is going to kill the jobs and everything, but who is doing automation? Again, that will be done by some person only, right? So you have to learn automation as well, you can go ahead and learn. Like you have Ansible. Ansible is one of the good automation tool. Python is very popular, whether you go for DevOps, whether you do for any specific kind of task, infrastructure and anything, you can learn Python. And then shell scripting. Shell scripting, most as an apps DBA, you should be knowing it. If you are not knowing it, you should at least learn that. Okay, so shell scripting is again very important for learning. That will help you to automate lot of tasks, and that always gives an added edge over the other persons. Let's say in your team, if you are automating the task, you are doing lot of those type of tasks, so you will be having an upper edge on others. Okay, your performance will be counted more when compared to others. Okay, because you are doing something extra or out of the box what others are not doing. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are going ahead of the track. You okay, don't let that, okay, now I don't have any job, or if my job is going to lose, then I will start learning something. Okay, you should learn, like what I feel, you should start learning regularly. You should start learning and doing tasks regularly. Don't wait for anything to happen and then start learning something new. And of course, whatever you are learning, try to implement. Like, is that possible to implement somewhere? Like, let's say if I learned Ansible, if I learned shell scripting, if I learned some cloud, how can I implement whatever I have been doing for so many years on these particular things? Can I install an ERP on a cloud? How can I do that? How I have to clone it on a cloud? Or how can I automate my regular tasks that I'm doing using any of the automation tools? So that will give you a real-time experience, and that will give you more confidence on that particular technology that you have learned. Then of course you have very good option, because you have been working on database and everything, so you have a very better option to go ahead and learn databases like SQL database or NoSQL DBs. So you have MongoDB, you have PostgreSDB, MySQL DB, and lot of open source. Okay, so I will also suggest you can go ahead and go around some open source technologies. Okay, open source technologies are also growing a lot, because due to cost cutting and everything, people are going ahead and working on Oracle open source technologies as well. So that will also give you an added advantage. Okay, then apart from that, you should also, like if you are at a mid level or you have just started, so you should also learn various advanced components. Like if you are just a core DBA, you should go ahead and learn RAC, ASM, how the high availability works, what data guard. Lot of different things are there to learn. If you are an apps, you have lot of things like the advanced concept, like your SSO, how the single sign-on integration works, what is a JWS, Java Web Start, what is how to implement SSL, secure socket layer. So all these are the advanced concept, how to configure your PCP and everything. So these are the advanced things, you should be knowing that. So that will again give you an added advantage in your longer run. Then again, one of the important things, you can also go ahead and learn Linux servers, Linux server administration. Okay, this is the one of the things that I started doing from last 5 years. Okay, this is very important, that you how to manage Linux server. You have been working on Linux systems most of the time, or if you are managing your database application on Linux, so you might be managing the systems on Linux. So why don't you understand that Linux system? Okay, how that works, how you have going ahead and working on that. So that will again give you a very good understanding on the server. You can understand how to manage that server, and that will open again lot of scope for you. Okay, that will open a scope as a Linux admin, that will open your space for going ahead and working on DevOps, whether working on cloud infrastructure. So lot of things you will understand, and you will get exposure to lot of various new things after learning that. So Linux server or Linux admin, this again is very important. And as an apps DBA, if you have been working on Linux, so it will be easy for you to learn and understand it as well. Okay, then very important is security. So there are a lot of different tracks, like you can learn cyber security, you can learn security in Oracle, what are the security options, how you can secure your system, what are the security components you can do. Like you have TD, you have data redactation, you have various type of security policies, how you implement security policies, how you do audits on security. So all those things also you should be learning. Again, that will be very helpful for you in longer run. Okay, so these are the some of the topics that I have mentioned, or if I have learned them, so that's why I have mentioned it here. Maybe you can add more things. These are just based on my experience, so you can go ahead and learn more apart from this. But these are some very important that should be useful and that I can actually relate with my experience. Okay, if I have been working as 12 years as an apps DBA, so I can relate with most of things, and that will be very helpful for me. Okay, that should be very helpful for me, and it will help me to do task in real times. Okay, what I have told, that is just based on my experience and my exposure, and that might be subjective. There are a lot of different things to learn. You can learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything, but it totally depends on your interest. But for now, if you are very much confused, just start learning something small and then start giving it more chance, start investing more time in it, learn it, and then see how you feel. Once you start learning and enjoying that process, you will start learning lot of different things. Okay, you will end up learning lot different things, and that will again open lot of different opportunities for you. You don't have to wait for that. Okay, that you have to wait and learn something specifically, okay, over the time. So I hope you understood whatever I've explained. So that was all for this video. Thank you.